Good. Yo, this is a video I was gonna do a couple days ago, man. Know what I mean? Someone had asked me about the reptilian DNA. I know I spoke about that. I think I did actually title it that. But I know I mentioned it when I was talking about that TV series they got called ZNA. It's something like The Walking Dead. But matter of fact, it's not even called ZNA. It's called Z Nation. It's like a Walking Dead knockoff. It's called Z Nation, but I was breaking that up and saying that it wasn't really Z Nation. It was really ZNA. Talking about, the solar bloodline. But can't track them archives, so hey, it is what it is. But I'm gonna be brief, man. I'm cooking dinner. And y'all already know how these videos get. Always talk about quick little video. Next thing you know, man, it's gonna be like 2 hours in. Also got questions about time. I spoke about time plenty of times. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, that whole time, man, is like, yo, man. Yo, time is all over the place, man. In regards to the actual description of what it is, man. It's all over the place. It's like, but when you talking about time, it's pre-coded, man. You know what I mean? To put it in a nutshell, man, it's pre-coded. It's pre-coded. Anything that's created, the shadow. Look at it like the shadow of everything that is created has a shadow of time. You know what I mean? The shadow, the life force of whatever is created. No matter if it's a TV, energy, planet, it's all pre-coded. And because it's pre-coded, it has a series of stages that it goes through. Now, those series of stages, they might try to identify that as evolution. But it's not really evolution. Nothing artificial could evolve. It basically morphs into another phase. Let's say, you create something, and let's say you create a vessel. You in a lab and you splicing genes and all that, and you create a creature. Now the creature you created, it basically have a lifespan of, let's say, 200 years. Now, when that species is going through their 200-year lifespan, it will go through a series of phases. Now, the phases that is going through would be a form of like a mutation. Let's say for it to get through the whole 200 years, it goes through a series of 10 phases. You know what I mean? So within a time frame of 200 years, is going through 10 different phases, phases of genetic mutation, and they would identify that as evolution. Now, when you create, when you creating, for instance, this creature or anything, when you creating anything, it's already encoded within the creation how long it's going to last. All the do's and the don'ts that the creation can do is already pre-coded in the genetics. It's not going to be able to do anything outside the code unless you give the cells the ability to adopt external codes, because it has like its internal software, and then you could code it in a way where it could adopt external software and simulate that. You know what I mean? But as far as going beyond the time frame that the cells is supposed to be cycling, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Instead of calling it evolution, you could call it like a cellular cycle. It goes through a cellular cycle in regards to how much the cells can reproduce itself. Because when you like, going through different phases, like I'm gonna use a human as an example. When they going through phases from a baby to a young boy to a young man to an elder man, those are cellular cycles that vessel is going through. You know what I'm saying? It's cellular cycles that is going through. But they would somehow try to determine that as evolution. It's not evolving. You know what I mean? The vessel is not evolving. It's going through cellular cycles in regards to how many phases it can go through in a certain time frame. It's already encoded in the genes. You know what I mean? So that time was created. The biological time is created. When you talking about this Earth time, that was created as well, because Earth goes through a series of planetary um cycles. You know what I mean? With the energies, you know, shifting and mutating. It's not even evolving, son. You know what I mean? Because the reality is hybrids cannot evolve. They go through like cellular cycles. You know what I mean? Or planets will go through like planetary cycles, where the planet might look different now compared to how it was. Let's just throw a number out there, 200,000 years ago. That's because it went through a planetary cycle in regards to the energy that has been converted into this morph that the planet is demonstrating right now. You know what I'm saying? But all of that was already encoded in the planet. The planet was programmed to do that at that specific time frame. You know what I'm saying? So now we want to channel it down to the matrix now, the simulation, in regards to people's lifespans. Those lifespans are also pre-coded. You know what I mean? Your lifespans is also pre-coded. The way how you move in life is something that's already pre-coded. You have it where people can, see things before it happened. Those would be the people who's ahead of time. In other words, they could see down the timeline and see what's going to happen like 2, 3, 4 years from now, 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, 20 years, 50 years from now, they could already see what's going to happen because it's like they're looking at a movie and they fast forwarding it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a majority of the people on the planet who frequencies in their brains operate on a latency wave band. Everything that they do is latency. They lagging. Those are the ones who's reactionary. The reactionary people are vibrating on a latency frequency. They need something to happen in order to respond. You know, action, reaction, positive, negative. They need something to happen in order for them to be like, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? Because they in latency mode. Those are the ones who's like fully in time. You know what I mean? They fully in time. There is no advancement for them, son, because they in the time. They was created in the time, so therefore they are one with the time. So when you start speaking about things that's outside of time, they only going to be scratching the dandruff out of their head, like, what is this guy talking about? Because you now went outside their radius of like their antennas. You know, their antennas is like locked in a certain radius, and it's like when you go outside that frequency, it's like, you know, they draw a blank. So, you know, time is something that's already pre-coded. It's pre-programmed. It's pre-pro simulation. When you're looking at a simulation, that is time. You know what I mean? All simulations elapse, which denotes time. You know, it all has like a starting point, a beginning, and an end point. And even if it resets, it all moves on a cycle. All simulations are programmed time. It's time that was programmed to function on a certain algorithm. So when you're looking at simulations out here in the matrix, you're looking at different variations of time. You know what I mean? That's all moving on a cycle. You could predict it because it has been programmed. That's why I stated before in past videos, the people, they don't never see the inception of the algorithm. So therefore, they don't understand that when they looking at something that has already manifest, you know, they look at it like some random event. It is not random. You're looking at a phase that had a series of phases, but the series of phases that led up to that phase that you saw manifest, you didn't see. So you're not factoring the inception of the manifestation. You don't even know the inception of the manifestation exists. You just think things just happen out the blue. There's a such thing as random, you know, random events, or, you know, I believe in faith and all of this. You know what I mean? It is not like that in the realm of the real. Even in the realm of this, it's not even like that. Things are planned. You know what I'm saying? They program time in the matrix every day. Every day they programming time in the matrix. Time is a programmable sequence. You know what I mean? And it has a duration. The entire duration of whatever time is being programmed has already elapsed. But when you're in the cycle of the time that's elapsing, you don't see it. Well, I should, the one, there's people out there, you know, the souls that's on that wave band, they see it, but you know, the average mother dada, they don't see it. They don't see it. You know what I'm saying? They really assume, like when they go to a basketball game and they looking at whoever's playing basketball, let's say is the Bulls versus the Celtics. When they're looking at the basketball game, you know, they just got there. They about 10 minutes late. They sitting down. You know, the game just started. You know, in their mind, the winner hasn't already been determined yet. In their mind, they like, oh wow, I'm in the moment, and you know what I'm saying. I hope this team win, or I hope that team win. That's they in the latency. You know, the simulation is played back to them in a speed that represents latency. You know what I'm saying? It's played back in a speed that they can't process in real time. They can't even process it in real time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was to really process it in real time, you would already know what it is before these teams even came into existence. When you process it in real time, you know what I'm saying? They process things in latency. The brain is constantly processing things, images, events in a latency format. It's a hell of a delay. They lagging. It's like a weak internet connection. You over there trying to log online and you looking at the loading bar that's constantly saying, please wait. You sitting up there waiting for it to load. You know what I'm saying? You waiting for all the data to get filled in the RAM and get pushed through the wire and sent through the motherboard and all that, and put the image on the screen. You waiting for all of that. But the data is already there. You know what I'm saying? The web page that you're trying to log into has already been created. All of the click links that you could click has already been created. You sitting there waiting for it to load, it's already there. It's just that the way how you process it is latency. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this time dimension represents. This time dimension represents latency. You're not seeing nothing in real time. You're not seeing nothing in real time. You know what I mean? You got to wait for something to happen in order for you to react and then decode. What about the pre-codes? Pre-code, calling it before it even happens. You know what I mean? They big on the decoding things. But what about the after you, the reality is, man, if you all hung up on decoding, you late. You late as hell. You know what I'm saying? You decoding something doesn't really mean nothing because you're late. Now, if you had pre-coded it, that would have the same effect as, say, y'all in the chat is y'all birthday party. None of y'all know that y'all having a surprise birthday party. You know what I mean? I came to pick y'all up. We chilling. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go over here real quick. I need you to come up. I need you to come up with me up in this building right here. I gotta pick this TV up. You know what I mean? None of y'all know that you about to have a surprise birthday party. Your birthday 2 weeks from now. You don't. It's not even ringing the bell. You about to have a surprise birthday party. I'm like, yo, come up in here with me and you know what I'm saying? Pick up this TV. But right before you get inside the building, I'm like, yo, son, you about to have a surprise birthday party. You know what I mean? See, so what I did right there, I destroyed the illusion. I destroyed the program. You know what I mean? So when you walk in the surprise birthday party, they call it, spoiling the moment. I just spoiled the potential for them to program you. So now when you walk in there, you unaffected. You unaffected. The same thing goes with the movies. You pre-code the movies. You go in there, you already know what's going to happen. It's not going to affect you. But if you go into the movie theater, you know what I'm saying, with the primary gist of I'm all about decoding, you being programmed. You're being programmed to be in a latency frequency of always feeling that, well, I get the decode on now. You late. The spell was already cast. It don't matter if you decode it. The pre-code spoils the plan. For instance, you know how many times directors rewrote scripts when the script got leaked? When you're looking at scripts getting leaked for movies, people finding out the ends of movies and characters and who dies and who does this and who does that. That's a pre-code. That killed the whole ritual. Now they got to go back in and rewrite the script because they need to keep you in the decode mode. You know what I mean? They got to keep you in the latency, being razzled and dazzled. So that's the same thing with this time. This time is already pre-coded. It's a loop. Nobody on this planet cannot tell me that we're not in a loop. What's today's date? Today's October. What it is? The 21st. Right around the block, we got Halloween. How would I know that? You got babies that's just born. You probably got 1 year old who was just born, who, some baby who just born ain't hit one yet. Don't know nothing about Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they didn't go through the cycle. You know what I'm saying? They ain't go through the cycle, so they can't really predict what's going to happen. So, but we've been in this cycle for some cycles. So we know that Halloween is coming. We know that Thanksgiving is coming. We know that Christmas is coming. We know that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is coming. You know what I'm saying? We know another 4th of July is coming. We know another April Fool's Day is coming. We know April 15th, the deadline to file taxes. We know your birthday is. We know all of this. So you don't see how time is already pre-coded? It's already pre-coded. In other words, they put this theme out there, life is what you make it. No, it's not. You in a pre-coded timeline. It's like what I stated before in past videos. All of this is stored memory that you're just viewing. You're viewing stored data. This is not when you capture these images and you store it in your brain, and they try to say, well, that's memories. We need to reminisce of how it was when we used to do this, or you remember this time when we did this, or you remember this time when we did that. You didn't really do anything. All you did was view. You're viewing moments in time. You know what I mean? It's all scripted. It's a simulation, man. So when you're looking at this whole time thing, it's already pre-coded. You know what I mean? You are in the midst of the transitioning of energy, what they call time. You're in the cycle of the phases of the energy. There is no 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? Those represent degrees of energy. You know what I mean? This whole day and night thing that when I was speaking about, that's an illusion. There is no night on the sun. Earth, there is no day on Earth. That's an illusion. You know what I mean? That sun energy is being sent to this planet, and it's so powerful that it illuminates everything. It even gives you the ability to see various radiation fields, 0 point energy, shields, what they would call a sky. It gives you the ability to see what you couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? You can't see the sky when it's nighttime, but it's there. Don't think that because when you look up in the sky at nighttime and you just see space, the sky is not there. It is there. It just exists in a different spectrum of light. And that spectrum of light becomes visible now when the sun rays, which is various spectrums of light, interact with it. So now you're seeing what was already there. You know what I'm saying? But when that sun energy is hitting this planet, it illuminates everything, and they tell you that's daytime. It's not no daytime. There is no day indigenous to Earth. It's only darkness here, son. When you see what it is, what it looks like when it's nighttime, that's what this whole planet really looks like. There's nothing but darkness here, son. There is no real light to Earth. Earth doesn't have its own indigenous light source that would illuminate it. It gets its light from the sun. Earth glow comes from the sun. It doesn't come from Earth. That glow that you see from Earth, that comes from the stored energy in the crystals that was sent here by way of sunlight. You know what I mean? So this whole night and day thing that they talking about with this time, that's an illusion. It's an illusion. When they talk about the heavens is in the universe and people think that the heavens got to do with all of the planets in the universe, no, the heavens is the solar portals. You know what I mean? That's not even really in the universe. Those are just portals that lead to the etheric dimensions. That would be considered the heavens. This whole universe is hell. It has many gates, and that's why they called us the gods. Because just like a god, you have the gods of the gaurds of the prison. You know, because we supposed to be the rulers of the underworld, not ruling from the ego, but ruling as in watching over. We were supposed to be watching over this whole universe, this sector of space, and there's many other souls out there that's supposed to be just overseeing this whole realm. As I stated before, when they talk about the devil or watching over hell, nah, the devil don't watch over hell. The gods watch over hell. The gods just made the devil the manager. That's it. He's just, even though I'm just speaking the language, but just breaking it down. The gods made the devil the manager of hell. He is not the ruler of hell. He's just a manager. You know what I mean? To take orders from the higher gods on how things should be ran. The devil doesn't rule hell. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. There is no opposite to God. Like you got these people out here that say that the opposite of lies is truth. But as I stated before, there is no opposite to truth. Truth comes from outside the matrix. The opposite of a lie is belief. Belief is artificial truth. When you look at the word believe, you see the word lie in there, pretending. It's cloaking. It's like a shapeshifter, pretending to hold a form of something else. But if you look close, you can see the word lie in belief because it's pretending to be the truth. You know what I mean? So when you're looking at, you see, you got the opposite of lie, which is belief. So that that represents the positive and the negative. So now when you're looking at the opposite of, Jesus, you got the devil, the positive and the negative. But opposites, only thing that has opposites is fake. You know what I'm saying? Like the real gods, there is no evil force out there that could compare to them. Like there's no adversary to God, son. There is none. You know what I'm saying? There is no adversary to the real gods. You know what I'm saying? You got adversaries to hybrids because they are a perfect match. Adversaries are a perfect match. They are not in the sense of, well, you have this force over here and then you got this other force trying to cancel out this force and this force trying to cancel out that force. No, they the same forces helping each other. You know what I mean? The same forces that's helping each other, son. You know what I mean? So when you they talking about days and nights, the nights is indigenous to Earth because Earth is a lunar dimension. It's a moon. You know what I mean? Just like all these other moons out here in the universe. You know what I mean? Which is where spiritual energy is trapped. You know what I mean? Spiritual energy is meant to be trapped in the universe because it represents a chaotic energy, a chaotic vibration, the positive and negative. You know what I mean? That represents chaotic energy. But the souls are not of the universe. You know what I mean? They not of the positive and the negative polarity. They beyond polarities. They are beyond this whole realm. Everything that's going on over here, we are beings of beyond all that. We beyond the mind, we beyond the physical, we beyond all of that. You know, but unfortunately, a lot of the souls lowered their vibration to vibrate on a spiritual frequency. So now monkey see, monkey do. I'm all about being positive right now. I don't want no negative energy. They don't even understand how they vessel work. And that's another thing I want to talk about. The reptilian DNA is essentially your immune system. Because if you pay attention to what they call your immune system, I'm talking, this is for the carbonated beings. If you pay attention, because I did the video, well, y'all can't even check that, but I got this herb book and I was just flipping through the pages looking at these herbs, and I'm like, just reading about what some of these herbs do, and it's like, yo, that herb is technology. The plants, that's technology, son. That is weaponry. When I was sitting up there looking at that book and reading about these herbs and hear about how these herbs be combating these viruses and diseases, I'm like, yo, these herbs is weaponry, son. It's technology. It's not plants. You know what I mean? The herbs ain't plants. That is weaponry, son. That's weaponry for your reptilian DNA. You know what I mean? And what does the immune system do? It destroys and kills viruses. You know what I mean? It destroys and kill viruses. There is no compromising. Just like the reptilian, son. You know what I'm saying? So your immune system, well, the reptilian DNA falsely identified as the immune system has several strands, which is what they would call several dimensions that make up your immune system. What are they talking about? The white blood cells, the red blood cells, the T cells, all these different cells that they talking about, son. You know what I'm saying? They represent your reptilian DNA. You know what I mean? Come online. But the reptilian DNA doesn't only have to do with as far as how the immune system works. It doesn't only fight off diseases. That's how they only want you to see the immune system. Now, the immune system also have the ability, or the reptilian DNA, you know what I'm saying? When you synchronize your reptilian DNA with your reptilian vision, your pineal gland, the etheric eye, you know when somebody lying to you. You lying, son. You know what I mean? You can determine when somebody's lying to you. You know what I'm saying? When you vibing on that wave, you could look at people and you could literally see demons on them. That all has to do with the reptilian DNA. You know what I mean? All got to do with the reptilian DNA, the reptilian eye, pineal gland. You know what I mean? That ether vision, son. All of that got to be online, son. You know what I mean? Straight up. It fights off diseases. It fights off spirits, disembodied entities that's constantly trying to tempt you to smoke, to drink, to rob, to steal this car, steal this money, beat this person up. You know what I'm saying? Humiliate this person. It keeps all of those, because people always talk about, because I get a bunch of messages, people talk about how they get all these kind of thoughts in their head. Like, they get these thoughts in their head. Sometimes they would call the thoughts evil. You're picking up other people's thoughts. Don't mistake the thoughts in your head for your thoughts. You know what I mean? The same way how you could be in a room with somebody and somebody could sneeze. Now you inhale. When they sneeze, you breathing. You just inhale their viruses. The germs that they sneezed out, you inhaled it. But those germs ain't yours. The germs came from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with the thoughts. You just can't see the vibrations flying around here, son. You can't see the signals. So when you walking, you literally walk into signals. Like your head walks into different frequencies, and it's like this the wave, the energy wave just get goes right through your head. You know what I'm saying? And your brain decodes it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all light. That's what your brain does. It decodes light. Your neurons flying through the neuronic canal. Your brain is like is like a organ light interpreter. It interprets light. You know what I mean? So when you walking, you don't see the signal or the waves, the thought waves, but it goes right through your head into your brain, and your brain picks it up, and now you just got this thought to shoot somebody. Like, damn, why the hell I want to shoot somebody? That's not you. That's you just picked up somebody else's thought. You just picked up something. You could have picked up somebody else's thought, or you could have picked up somebody else's thought that was in the area, or it could have been a stationary thought, like a cloud that just stationed there, son. You know what I mean? Or it could be one of these disembodied entities sending you signals like how these cockroaches do, son. You know what I mean? People in the projects, they got all these cockroaches. These cockroaches just be chilling in. You ever seen, a cockroach? It just be chilling there. You know what I'm saying? And his antennas are just swinging back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That's the cockroach sending you a signal. Yo, man, get up and go cook some freaking eggs, man. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? They trigger that chemical. Next thing you know, you smelling eggs. You like, damn, why I'm smelling eggs? Why it smell like eggs in here? Who cooking? Ain't nobody cooking. The cockroach triggered the chemical in your brain. Because you vibrating on the frequency of a cockroach, now it has the ability to access your cells. So it send the signal, make the cell, because you got memory cells. Every time you eat something, look at something, experience something, it's all encoded in memory cells. So they got access to your memory cells, so they could just trigger the memory of what an egg smell like. They know if that's your favorite food. You know what I'm saying? They could trigger it. Now you smelling it. Damn, I'm smelling eggs. You know what? I want to get some eggs right now. The cockroach already know you. If you eating eggs, you messy as hell. You ain't gonna wash the pot when you finish cooking. More than likely, you're gonna be spilling crumbs and pieces of eggs all over the place. You know what I mean? So now the roach is eating the eggs now. All the little scraps, the scavengers, the spirits. You know what I'm saying? Now the roach eating the egg. You know what I mean? So a lot of the thoughts that you be having in your head is not even your own. You picking up thoughts. It's like the air. You can't see the air under this regular spectrum that we're in. You know what I'm saying? It appears to be invisible. You know what I'm saying? But if you was to like change the frequency where you could see the air, they call it increasing the humidity. You know what I'm saying? Or when they drop the temperature. In other words, let me change the frequencies of the energy where it, when you talk, you see the mists come out of your mouth. That's the air you're looking at. Air is thick. It's thick. You know what I mean? And it's multiple different colors. You know what I mean? You add the color of green, you got brown, yellow. It's all different vibrations, which denotes different integrity of the air. The air is not clear. It's not clear. You know what I mean? It's various colors of the air. And determine on what color the air is it determines the integrity of the air or the energy. So if you got a certain color for air that represents pollution, then you intaking low energy. So now your vehicle needs a certain amount of energy in order to be operating on an optimal performance. But if you inhaling what they would call pollution or low energy, now your organs is like starving for energy or starving for air. Dr. Sebi said that a lot of people's organs ain't getting enough air or getting enough energy. You know what I'm saying? Because your organs run off energy. If you ain't giving the energy to your organs, it becomes undermined. And now it underperforms. And when it underperforms, you lower your vibration. What happens when you lower your vibration? You now get the sickle. Sick. Look at the word sick. Look at the word sickle. Now you vibrating on a lunar frequency. Now you in the positive and the negative. Now they got you. You know what I'm saying? But reptilian DNA is the immune system, son. And it does way more than fight off chicken pox. You know what I mean? It does way more than fight off chicken pox. You know what I mean? And another thing, somebody had asked me about being saved. I spoke about being saved before, but the reality is, man, because I gave the example of, you got it like in the movie like Spider-Man, you had somebody fall out in the middle of the street and they'd be like, oh, this person is in danger. This person need to be saved. This cab is about to run her over. And Spider-Man come down and swoop her up and now she saved. That's not being saved. Because time is pre-coded. And if you want to play, I'm gonna play along. I'm gonna play along with the save game. But if you save, your whole timeline would never lead you into danger. You don't become in danger and then need to be saved. That's not how the higher beings work. Higher beings don't need to put you on a timeline of danger and then you need to be saved. No. The timeline that you on, you would never even experience that because you've been chosen. You don't need to go through these fake obstacle courses that man set up to determine if you a man or if you a woman. Your soul determines if you a man or you a woman. You the soul determine that. Not you going to jail or beating people up or running blocks or selling drugs or doing that. Ain't got nothing to do with being a man. That got to do with being up under the frequency of the beast. That has nothing to do with a man, son. It has nothing to do with a woman, son. You know what I'm saying? You maintaining who you are, a soul of being, you a man or a woman. You know what I mean? Straight up. You a man or a woman. Not pushing weight, holding blocks down, standing on a corner, busting your gun, doing hard time. That don't make you no man. You know what I mean? You just became a product of the simulation. It doesn't make you a man. You know what I mean? Straight up. You beyond man. Word. But that ain't got nothing to do with being saved. Being saved is already being on a timeline where you won't even be experiencing none of that. You know what I mean? Or if you or even if you come across that, it's like you wasn't even really there. You know what I mean? It's like you wasn't even really there, son. It was like you was just there to view what could happen if you choose to be a human. That's nothing but a commercial that you're looking at, son. You just moving by and you just seeing a commercial that if you get off the path, like Little Red Riding Hood, you know what I'm saying? You want to get off the path, and you don't want to stay on the path that that you're supposed to be on to ascend. You know what I mean? Because the soul race is all about ascending, which is what real evolution is. You know what I mean? The fake evolution is coming from monkey to man or a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's fake evolution. That's just phases within programmable time. You're just looking at the simulation take on another simulation. You know what I'm saying? What they telling you is evolution down here. That's not evolution, man. Real evolution is ascending for real. You know what I mean? That's and the only ones who could really ascend is the souls that's on the planet. That's real evolution. This other stuff that they got going on down here, son, that's just phases of programmable time running this course. That's all you're seeing when they show you the monkey to man. Never mind them showing you how the man came to the monkey. They skipped a whole phase. They skipped a bunch of phases. You know what I'm saying? They skipped the lab. But then again, if you look at the chart closely, the official chart, the only reason why I say the official chart, because they just got charts out there that just show the monkey and then the man walking upright. But if you look at the official chart, you see the sigils. You see the caduce. You know what I'm saying? You see other symbols in there. So they telling you it wasn't only just the monkey turning into the man, it was genetic manipulation. That's what that caduce represents. And caduce represents a genetic manipulation. You know what I mean? Genetic splicing, cloning. That's what that represents. You know what I mean? So when you see their chart, it's symbolism that's telling you a whole nother story or a whole nother phase. Because ain't no man just gonna come out of no monkey. No human ain't gonna come out of no monkey. That came by way of genetic manipulation, son. You know what I mean? They was manipulating the genes. And that's how they came about to be, son. You know what I mean? Which is of another phase in their false evolution. Because real evolution is ascending. You know what I mean? When you go beyond this realm and you go beyond for real. And you get a new body for real. Not coming back here as a so-called black man or a black woman simulating the same program they simulated in the 1800s. Where's the evolution in that? They was marching in the 1800s. You marching now. Where's the evolution in that? That is no evolution. That's a loop. It don't matter because they was wearing bell bottoms back then and now they wearing damn suits now. It don't matter what they wearing. Look at the core of the program. They still simulating the same algorithm. They still pumping the fists. They still talking about black power. There is no black power. As I stated before, that's nothing but a bunch of Masons playing games on people, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that's supposed to happen to the clones. Because that's all the clones gonna do. That's all they gonna do is simulate, son. That's what, see, we got caught up in their simulation. You know what I mean? We gotta realize that we ain't part of that sim. You know what I mean? Those bots, they gonna sim what they gonna sim, son. Just let them do what they do, man. You know what I mean? You gotta raise your vibe and get out the program, son. You know what I mean? Straight avocados, man. You already know what it is, man. What's going on in the chat? Yo, I'm about to get up out of here, man. This joint's starting to get long, son. I already know what it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Mixing the track. Yeah, I gotta get my track mixing skills up, B. It's stuff I gotta reinstall and all that. I went to the studio today. I gotta get me a mic, son. I've been going so hard in this video joint. But yo, man, that's time in the nutshell, man. You know what I mean? That's time in the nutshell. Is a simulation, a programmable sequence. You know what I mean? A series of mesh events that happen seamlessly. You know, it happens so seamlessly they can't even see the intervals. But if you pay attention, you can see the intervals, and the intervals will let you know that it is a glitch. You know what I mean? You pay it close attention, you can see the intervals, man. You know what I mean? We got an interval coming up right now known as Halloween. You know what I mean? You got the interval right now coming up, known as Halloween, son. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? These years is not solar years. You know, they lunar years. It's a Gregorian calendar. It's a lunar calendar. The reality is you cannot clock time off the sun for real. You know what I'm saying? They might use the sun as an instrument to clock Earth time, but to clock the solar time, there is no night on the sun. So how you get days and nights? There's only daytime on the sun. The sun never gets dark. It's always illuminated. The sun never goes off. Never. You know what I mean? It never goes off. Never. You know what I mean? Earth goes off. Man, Earth is really always off. It just gets on when the sun energy hit it, son. When that ether energy hit the Earth, it's on. You know what I mean? At nighttime, it's off. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, man. Yo, that sun, that ether ball, man. That's what it is, man. That ether sphere out there, man. That portal, man. That's what it's about, man. You know what I mean? That's the solar station right there, man. Word up, man. So it ain't no nighttime on the sun, man. It's nighttime on Earth, and it ain't no daytime on Earth. That's just an enormous amount of energy being sent through space from the sun. You know what I'm saying? Eliminate the sun and then see what kind of daytime it would be on Earth. Where would the day be without the sun? That's why I say there's no real tropical areas on Earth. They got artificial tropical areas, like on the island, Jamaica, Argentina, Tobago, Haiti. You know what I mean? Those are artificial tropical areas, huh? Those areas are not tropical by its own indigenous accord. They are tropical because there's a concentration of sun energy hitting it on a different degree. You know what I mean? But if you was to eliminate the sun, would it really be a tropical area? Hell no. So there is no tropical areas on Earth. The real tropics is the sun. Why you think carbonated beings love the sun so much? Or they love the island? They be like, yo, we love the island, man. It's so hot. It's not the island that you love. Is that the tropical areas is giving you a glimpse of what your dimension is. Nothing but heat. You're getting a glimpse of the heat, but you falsely identifying it as your home. Earth was created. How can something that was created be your home? You, the soul, was never created. You know what I'm saying? This is a question that I ask these people who always want to say that we came from Africa. Tell me logically, how does a soul come from Africa? I'm still waiting for somebody to answer that. How? How can something real come from something that was created? And the substance that was real was never created. But we had a beginning in Africa. Man, please, man. Please, man. We ain't from no Africa, man. That's an illusion, man. You know what I mean? From that space station. A real solar system where all the celestial bodies are suns. There isn't not one moon, or should I say artificial planet, in the etheric realms. It's all high frequencies, man. You know what I mean? But yo, man, I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm about to eat my food, man. I already know what it is, man. Short little video, B. Yo, it's all about raising that vibe, son. You know what the time is in a nutshell, man. It's It's a pre-coded simulation. You know what I mean? A simulation that has already ran its course. You know, you just caught up in the phases of it. You know what I mean? But if you pay close attention, you'll see that. Well, we got winter coming around the corner. That sounds like a phase to me. You know what I mean? Couple months going past. Next thing you know, we got spring. Oh, now we're going to have fall. Well, we in fall now. Yeah, we in fall now. And then you're going to have the winter. Then you're going to have the spring. And then you're going to have the summer. That sound like a transition of energy to me. That don't sound like no season. Look at the word season. You see the word sea and the sun. You know what I mean? Straight up with y'all. I'm up out of here, B. I already know what it is, man. It's about raising that vibe, man. Raise that vibe. One.